south of the northern Icelands and north of the southern sea lies the Dragon's Valley. The valley has been ruled over by the evil Dragon King, who has menaced the land for hundreds of years, demanding regular tribute in the form of gold, jewels, and beautiful maidens. It is in the shadow of the Dragon King's mountain, the small human kingdom of Osthalia lies in the valley, a mere ghost of what it once was. Two major human cities dot the valley. To the east lies the capital city of Kingstown, where the King Oldbeard VI rules with a kind but troubled heart. To the west is the merchant town of Silvercliff, which grew wealthy off of the silver mines in the surrounding mountains and good trade with the dwarves of Calzoun. Between these two cities are various small villages and hamlets, dotted along the old road which connects the two cities. Beyond the small pockets of civilization lies a wild frontier dotted with the ruins of former great cities, which shone with brightness and bustled with people before the Dragon King came to this land. There are other major settlements in this area, of course. To the south there is the large forest, the Elfwood. Therein lies in the trees and is a vast and beautiful city known as Elfhaven. There are elves, and they do elf things like go to elf magic school and do elf bow stuff. You know, it's what elves do. And there are many secrets and treasures in this place, this Dragon's Valley, and you are one of those who have gone out of your way to find your fortune in the high-stakes world of professional adventuring. You are... well, let us see how you fare in this beautiful and rich world I have crafted. Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking about my favorite campaign setting I have ever made for Dungeons & Dragons, and that is the world of generic RPG. I've talked about it a lot, and I've mentioned all the time because I love this world so much. It's so much to both design and play in, and oh, it's beautiful. But yeah, also, in fact, this is my first recording on my new computer, which is much quieter, so I'll be able to do more variety of videos and quieter videos. So I'll be able to go back and do some more like traditional ASMR stuff, which my old jet engine of a fan laptop wasn't letting me do. Also, you'll be able to see me at all 1080p, although it's a little bit grainy on this one. But I liked the lighting I had here in this situation. I felt it helped the mood, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, it is here. That is an issue I need to deal with and get proper lighting and stuff, but but yeah, so generic RPG. So I've run two main campaigns in generic RPG. One did not go very long. It was the one I designed the setting for, and it was kind of meant to follow in the tail of the campaign setting of, I don't think I've done a campaign setting on Shalche, but it was on the tails of a pretty long campaign, which was kind of like the campaign I did throughout, like in college and such, with my main group in college. So it was kind of like, it was more a casual thing. It was wind down. It was like, you know what, it started off, you know what, like, okay, I don't feel like trying to like come up with some crammed narrative. Let's just something doing fun, quirky, and stupid. And it was, okay, let's do generic RPG. Like, let's make all of like the characters be super generic RPG characters. Like, the initial party had Blade Edge, the halfling rogue, who was like, oh, mischievous, but had a kind heart. And the great paladin Gwendolyn Brightheart, champion of justice, defender of the good and the innocent. Who was the last person? I'm sorry, Carmen, I don't remember who your character was, but it was like generic RPG. And as you can see, I had the Dragon's Valley. At some point in the video, I'll have a map. I'll show the map of it, and I'll link the map in the description too. It was meant to be just be this like really kind of like hokey, over the top kind of like setting. It's like, yes, the evil Dragon King, and like the map was like the most generic like fantasy map it is. I actually don't know where the original map is. I'm gonna look right now, even though I'm in the middle of recording. I found it. Okay, so yes. I also made a digital version of this map, which was the one I'll probably post, because of the second campaign I did in it, which I was like, hair in my mouth. That campaign didn't go very long. But I loved the setting. Like, I dotted the map with like, the map was like filled with like super generic like locations on there. It's like, here are the Ogre Woods and the Cave of 1,000 Treasures and things like that. But yeah, no, I had, and like, if you know me, I make maps, like, I make nice maps, but it was fun to like do this one where I was like, okay, let's make the most generic map possible for this campaign. It was meant to just be a thing. This one isn't super readable on this, but you get the feel for like the kind of like hokey style of like world maps. Not really world map, like this is still very kind of small scale as it goes. And my beautiful Dragon King, isn't he beautiful? But yeah, no, like we had like locations like the Secret Grove or the old mining town near the near the Hell Gate, or what else? The Forgotten Swamps and the Lake of Mysteries. But it was just this really cool, like, over the top, kind of hokey kind of style of campaign, and it was so much fun to both write and play. And even though that campaign kind of fell apart, I wanted to do it again. So, and it was moved into my current game, which I started a couple years ago, which is my longest, like, honestly, it's not my longest running campaign, but in terms of, like, number of sessions, it's the most sessions I've ever had in a game, and it's a good group. But, it became, this was generic RPG, Soapocalypse is its name, because they were obsessed with soap early on, and like they were collecting soap, and there were a bunch of soap-related puns and stuff going on. It was a lot about soap. Like, it's really moved away from soap, but the name Soapocalypse have stuck because it's just a great name for the campaign. So JRPG Soapocalypse, although really it is the main JRPG. So the main thing is that, like, I kind of went over like the actual like summary, but part of what really makes this world tick is not necessarily make it as dumb as possible, but to make it as dumb as possible. The kind of the central point of this campaign is to find a bad joke or a pun or something and make a beeline for it as a DM. Like, I had the players going, like, they were in the Drow city of Galdoon, which, they were like, they were like stuck in like a gladiatorial arena, but they were like allowed to wander around the city because like they were like magically bound there. But they were like, okay, we need to find better weapons, like, and trying to find like combat supplies. But oh yes, you actually can't actually legally buy I don't know, I have tweezers, like weapons and stuff, because there's rumors of rebellion mounting. And they spend almost a whole session trying to like figure out like how are we gonna find like these illicit supplies. until finally they come across a lead. Well, of course, if you're going to find if you need to find these illicit supplies, you obviously need to go to the dark web, because they're in the Drow City with all the spiders, the spider people. So yeah, no, but there's like lots of stuff, and it's like it was just like the thing is that this setting is so lighthearted. It doesn't take itself seriously, and you can just make dumb jokes. It is tailored to your party, where like based on like what your party would find funny, and things like that. So it's so much, it's much less of a actual like campaign world and so much, and the magic of JRPG is in its mindset, where, you know what, do you have to like have the specific cities, like is the city of Silvercliff and like the people and stuff they're really integral to campaign setting and how the campaign setting feels? No, not really. But the fact that like it's how I approach campaign building, which is usually find a joke and make a straight beeline for it. But it's really nice having a campaign setting that is like, I've said this before, kind of like the balance of a campaign being a drama and a comedy. Like those are the two main, like that's the main spectrum you could, well, not the main spectrum, but a major spectrum that you should look at when you're writing a story or a setting or anything, not just in D&D. And a lot of people really focus on the drama part of it, like let's make this enriching, like engaging, like fantasy world. And I think I find it's best when it's like usually somewhere in the middle, but aiming actually towards comedy. And you can have like very serious campaign, you can have serious moments in a comedic campaign, like we have. Like we had a character die a couple months ago, and we had a really nice scene with her turning into a flower, but it's complicated about why she turned into a flower, but it was really nice. It was like a nice, like kind of like serious, like goodbye to the character and things like that. I'll talk about actual characters in the campaign a bit, but yeah, so it's so much of that mindset where it's you know what, we're taking ourselves seriously and not very seriously, which is fun. It lets like just you have a good laugh. I mean, granted, most D&D sessions you should be able to laugh at it, like, but just having the setting like encouraging that mindset, I think helps a lot. Also in the dark web of the Drow City, the rebellion was led by Drizzt, because it wouldn't be a generic RPG if Drizzt wasn't involved in some way. So that's just important. Also, the currency of Galdoon, the Spider City, was a cryptocurrency called Spidercoin. And the whole time they were fighting in Galdoon, they were like heard rumors of this person, like the Queen's favorite champion, and they kept like going, like trying to work their way up. It's like, okay, if we could like, they're trying to like not even just defeat him, but if they can survive a round with the Queen's favorite champion, they would earn their freedom and what they came for here, which was their friend's soul and a magical crossbow they were looking for. Those were like the two things they came to the city for, and let themselves get captured so they could participate in this arena and whatnot. It's complicated. There's a lot of convoluted, like I said, this has been a long campaign. They're currently gearing up to kill the Dragon King, but in a larger plot and scheme to kill the Magic God, whose name is the Magic God. The gods of this realm are the Dragon God, the Dwarf God, the Elf God, the Evil Elf God, the Magic God, the Nature God, the Sun God, the War God, and, of course, Yugloth, Lord of Shackles. But, yeah, no, those are just their names. It's not Pelor, the Sun God. No, the Sun God's name is the Sun God. Gotta go peak generic. Yeah, but they were like down there, and like they were in there, but they were fighting the King's favorite champion. And when they
Also, all the drow had Russian accents because I just wanted the music of the Drow City to be Russian synth pop. Don't ask. This campaign setting's so dumb. But yeah. So they think, and then they finally get to the point where they can face the Queen's favorite champion until they realize that they actually had been mishearing the name of the name. It wasn't the Queen's favorite champion. It was the Queen's flavored champion. And out walks a Drider with, so it's like a centaur, but with the body of a spider, and this one had the upper torso of Guy Fieri. Insert icon of Queen's flavored champion, thus beautifully created by Father Loris. Yeah, no, it was so dumb. I love this campaign so much. So yeah, so when it comes to like I don't know, really, there's not as much to say in terms of world building, because let's be honest, the world building not that deep. Like, it's just like layering like adventures of like overly like done tropes and stuff. Like, their first quest was a fetch quest and things like that, where it was like overlayered. At one point they like all these other things, but character design, like there's actually a wide variety of like good generic RPG characters, because there's really two angles you can take for a generic RPG character. One is like kind of like what the campaign started as, like the generic archetypes, like, oh, I'm the gruff dwarven fighter, or the half-orc barbarian who has anger management issues, I guess, or I'm the elven wizard, and things like that, where you can have like these like the classic archetypes. The others are like generic like RPG archetypes borrowed from like non-tabletop genres, or like tropes and things like that, as well as like tropes of characters, such as we have Kara, who's a tiefling paladin warlock, so she's a tiefling, so a devil person, but she's been cursed. Part of her warlock class was this curse, which is the curse of female MMO armor. So any piece of clothing or armor she puts on is immediately made extremely skimpy, and she doesn't actually realize this. It's all perfectly normal for me why she just has like chainmail bikinis on all the time, because that's just what her armor is. But it's just like, it's the curse of female MMO armor, or other campy characters we had. Like, just good, like, over-the-top, very, like, generic things. Like, we have Kasha, who is literally, like, what's the most generic RPG in, like, for, like, video games nowadays? Like, if you think, like, RPG and the most RPG, like, most known nowadays, in terms of, like, recent gaming history, it's Skyrim. Kasha is literally just the dragon form from Skyrim. That's it. No, the whole her backstory is she beat Alduin, the credits rolled, and she ended up in generic RPG. It's just a flat, like, insert, like, into there. Like, other things are really good too, like, self-inserts are good, are a good character concept. Like, any like sort of writing tropes go well into that, and there's a lot of flexibility. Just the only thing that has to matter about your character is that it has to be exceptionally dumb. So God, I love this campaign setting so much. I know I say this a lot, but it's just so beautiful and wonderful. It's like, one of the things they're working on is their current quest they're working on is like the party. Well, there's two plots being going on. One is the party is actually being used as a front for a greater war effort against the Dragon King, where this leader, Chithar, who's this half-orc, like military leader, who's kind of using the guild that they're in as kind of like a cover to like build up a military operation, where they're like, yes, we are part of their guild and they're like personal like troops for like larger scale adventuring gigs, and definitely not an army. And she's like, okay, so all you guys gotta do is just go off and make a bunch of noise and just be the most like haphazard adventurers possible. And they're doing that because they're not a very competent party, which is fun. But meanwhile, they've been tasked by the dragon god. And of course, one of the characters, Jolt, is the reincarnation of one of the dragon god's fabled generals, who was like this
Arceus, the legendary hero of the dragon god, who will slay, who like
was the person who like brought justice to the land and yada yada yada, and was a great amazing hero. And of course, the reincarnation of that person is Jolt, the world's shittiest wizard, who doesn't understand that wizards aren't supposed to rush into melee. So eventually he'll learn. But yeah, so also Jolt does have a girlfriend who ended up being a dragon. He thought he was a halfling, but it has to be a dragon, and you know what? Things happen. They're currently on the visit to visit her. He's currently meeting his girlfriend's mom right now, who is the like supreme draconic leader of like a far off land. So that's gonna be fun. I can't wait till next Sunday. Their other quest is that they were tasked by the dragon god to like get these items to help them in their quest to kill the dragon king, who is not affiliated with the dragon god. This is repeatedly said, and people get them confused a lot, especially the party and the players themselves. But the dragon king and the dragon god, not affiliated. Similar names, not affiliated. Dragon god, good. Dragon king, boo. But yeah, but they're on the glorious quests of convenient non-sequentiality. Essentially, I gave them a list of items they need to find, and they can go through them at any level. And of course, these are those generic fantasy names for items, so it's like they're trying to find the
pinnacle of 10,000 souls, the crucifier of epochs, the blood of Ozamis, who is the guardian of the deepest thing, the chronicles of fire, and the armored of the sundered sky.
But they all got like 3 items from that list. My favorite also is the sword, who is it's just the sword. And they gotta find they're like, okay, what's the sword? And they've been trying to figure out what is the sword. It's not just any sword, it's the sword. And by that I mean, it is the platonic ideal of a sword. And they have to go to the core, the elemental plane of swords, and find literally the sword that defines swordness. And that is the sword they need to find. It is the sword. I had a lot of fun having to explain to half the group about Plato's theories of forms, so to make that joke work, but okay. I got in trouble for that one. My players tell me to just shut up a lot because of my bad jokes and puns. I love this campaign so much. I know I will keep saying that because this is literally my favorite work. Like, this is kind of a ramble because most of my D&D videos like this end up being rambles, but I definitely want to sit down and like actually do like a proper like write-up of like how to run a game in generic RPG. How do you run a game in the style of generic RPG? And I'm also looking into potentially doing a monthly stream of a campaign in generic RPG. If people would be interested in that, let me know if you'd be interested in that. But yeah, so I don't really know what else there is to say. Like, I don't want to make this video too long because I'm still testing, and I'm running the chance that I just messed up all my settings again, and ruined this video entirely because I had to reset all my OBS settings because new computer, yay new computer. I don't know if I set up everything correctly, but yay new computer. But yeah, so a little bit shorter video, and definitely hopefully to be able to get back to some more traditional ASMR videos, which I'm really excited about because my computer doesn't sound super loud. But yeah. If you have any ideas for any like sorts of like D&D content you want to hear from me, like I'm not gonna lie, like in terms of like D&D videos, without like doing like some remakes of some older ones, I'm kind of scraping the bottom of my barrel for ideas for D&D videos. And also D&D roleplays. I want to do more of those. It's how my channel started, and I've kind of stopped doing them, and I want to do more of them. But that's probably a story for another. That's probably a good thing for another time. So let me know what you think, and I don't know. There's not as much to say about this campaign setting, just beyond like kind of like the generic ideas of like what is important about this campaign, and the ideas of like the feel. And it's hard to communicate like how I run this campaign. Like, it'd be better off to do a recording of one of my sessions. I might do that. Let me see if I can get my party to let me do that on Sunday, and like do an edited version for like a short version. Would people be interested in that? Like just getting like an experience, actually like a live stream of me DMing. Not a live stream, but like a recording, and come back to that. Let me know what you think in the comments, but yeah. But yeah, no. It's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I can't really talk about lore, because it's like, yeah, there's lore, but the lore isn't what's central to this campaign setting. It's the feel, it's the execution, it's the delivery. It's little in-jokes and recurring themes, like how every like third woman is named Gwendolyn Brightheart. It's okay. It started out with the paladin Gwendolyn Brightheart in the original campaign, and early on they met someone named Gwendolyn Brightheart, and they're like, oh, they're just like, oh, what a coincidence that my name is also Gwendolyn Brightheart. It's like, no, it's just a very common name, and it just keeps recurring where it's like, you know what, if I had to come up with a female character on the fly, her name is Gwendolyn Brightheart. Jolt's girlfriend, the dragon, her name, Gwendolyn Brightheart. Her mom, also Gwendolyn Brightheart. Yeah, there's a lot of Gwendolyn Brighthearts. But, yeah. Well, I was supposed to be wrapping up, and I rambled for another 5 minutes, so, I think I'll call it here, and I hope you all have a wonderful night, and may your story smile upon you.